Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another match reaction, another post-match review. This time as champions of the world. It feels good to say, doesn't it? Champions of the world, something that I was doubting for a long time would ever happen. Purely because, you need to win the Champions League just to get the chance to call yourselves champions of the world, because you still have to win the Club World Cup. Of course, that is now changing, but it's good to finally be able to say that we are the best team in the land of the world. Now, before I get into proceedings, before I get into breaking down some of the actions in the game, of course, mostly positive, mostly glowing, as, well, I want to say per usual, hasn't been of recently, but usually it is very much positive. If you like the video, really help us out, really help reach people who don't know who we are, really help find other people to find the channel, and subscribe if you are new, trying to grow the community, trying to reach 7k as quickly as possible. And to the game, 4-0. I wasn't expecting it to be that comfortable, to be perfectly honest with you. If you watched the preview, I was expecting a tougher game. Now, of course, 4-0 doesn't tell the whole story. I felt like they gave us a harder time than our semi-final. I thought that, Fluminense gave it a go. They're a really, really interesting team to watch, to say the least. The one takeaway I find from this game is they are fearless. They are a team to watch. They're exciting. They are something different, a breath of fresh air, if you will. It was, maybe reminiscent to early days of Pep, where the playing out from the back scares the shit out of you. And it's just so different. It's a breath of fresh air. You don't normally see teams play like that. And I guess it comes down to, it just being a different opposition. This is a complete one-off game. We've never played each other, to my knowledge. Maybe we have, maybe I'm wrong, but in terms of this sort of competitive environment, I can't remember a game against Fluminense. So, again, it's something different. They clearly went with an attitude of, look, they have nothing to lose, really. They might as well go for it and try and give us a game and try and put us off, which, they tried. They were a very physical side. I felt like we had maybe a few problems with the physicality. And again, they weren't afraid to try and play their way out of trouble, which did cost them. I mean, scoring a minute in, the first two goals, very, very scrappy, but we take those, don't we? The first goal specifically, it comes from them trying to play out the back. Marcelo hoofs it, Ake gets on the end of it, decides to go for a shot, hits the post, Alvarez falls on it and bundles it over the line. And that's 40 seconds, I think it was, and it's 1-0. There's 1-0 inside 40 seconds, and you're thinking, we've got something to hold on to. I think that, we have struggled, especially in the semi-final, to get that first goal because they just parked the bus. We've maybe struggled a little bit in games like that a couple of times recently where, the first goal was hard to come by, but once we get it, we've got something to hold on to. The game opens up, and open up it did. They gave us a real go. They gave us a real fright. Obviously, Edison giving away the penalty. Luckily, it was offside, but again, they weren't afraid to come forward and give it a go. Obviously, second goal, massive deflection on it, really helps us. And then at that point, you turn up at half-time and you're thinking, well, at least I'm thinking, see it out. I was begging for us to see it out, to control the game, because, the thing that goes through my mind at 2-0 at half-time is, if this was the second half of last season, we know the script. We already know we are going to keep the ball for 45 minutes, essentially. We're not going to go all out and try and find a third goal to try and really kill off the game and make some subs. We would grind it out. We would keep the ball. We'd almost play safe, but we'd win the game 2-0. And that was what we did last year. And I was just begging for us at half-time to do that, to show that we are still capable of being able to hold on to a lead, to being able to control the game, slow it down, see it out, just be professional. And we kind of did that, but we scored 2 more goals, and 2 great goals they were. Phil Foden, that ball across from Alvarez, fired across, Foden taps it in. great goal. Like, great link-up play, obviously. Do a bit of 50-50s high up the pitch on the edge of the Fluminense box. Kovacic plays and Alvarez slides it across 3-0. That is when the game's over. That is when it's completely over. And then, of course, 4-0. Matheus Nunes coming on and getting an assist. I mean, I was disappointed he didn't start, to be perfectly honest with you. I really wanted to see it because he was man of the match last time out. And I thought, and I'll maybe touch on it a little bit later, but the physical side, he would have been more suited than Enrico Lewis. Of course, that doesn't matter. We won the game 4-0, so no one's really complaining. But of course, he comes on, gets his assist for Alvarez's goal. Great finish for that last goal, man of the match as well. Deservedly so. Turns into a different animal when he hears the word World Cup thrown about, doesn't he? So it's nice to see him pick up a bit of form. He's been struggling a little bit of recent things like his first touch and his passing and just kind of ghosting through periods of games. So for him to come out with what essentially is 2 goals. The first one's a bit lucky, second one's great, and an assist as well. Really good from him because obviously with the lack of Erling Haaland, he needed to step up, and step up he did. And now, of course, I did say I might touch on it a little bit. I think the only thing about the team that didn't work and that I maybe saw when the team came out that I was thinking wasn't going to work was Rico Lewis. I think he struggled with the physical side of the game. Of course, he's only little, bless him, but you know, obviously, I still trust him to do a job, and it's not his problem. But I think we saw the same thing or a similar thing against Aston Villa, where Aston Villa were an aggressive, physical side on that game, and throwing Rico Lewis in there just didn't work. He didn't have a good time of it, and I felt it wasn't that bad as it was against Aston Villa, but he still kind of struggled a little bit with the physical side. I think that is obviously something that you got to keep in mind when you play him. You got to keep in mind the opposition because that can happen. He's only a little man, so it's just something that I thought someone like Matheus Nunes would have been more suited to. Hence why I wanted to see him play that, and he was man of the match last time out. So I was really wanting him to get a string of games, but of course that doesn't matter. None of this matters. The Rodri injury, of course, the perks of me doing this slightly later than everyone else is I already know a little bit more information than those who cover it first, and that information is he's done an interview. He says he's fine. He said he almost cried, bless him, but he's fine. He expects to be able to play against Everton. That is good news because I do not want to go. I think it's at Goodison. I don't want to go to Goodison without Rodri. We can't win a game without him. The last place I want to go to is a fired up and on form Everton at Goodison. So of course that's a positive. We've come away relatively unscathed. We've all got our winners' medals, the gold badge on the kit. We've got a trophy. Everyone played to a man pretty well. Of course, a few outliers. Thought Kyle Walker again was pretty good today, which you know he came out fighting. He came out fighting in the press conference, and he backed it up. He backed it up today. I don't have a bad word to say about him. Of course, I hope he keeps that up. Again, I think I'm saying the same thing I was in the semi-final in the other game, that you know John Stones doing that inverted role into the midfield just helps out Kyle Walker because pressure's not on him to go forwards, so he can just sit and be a defender. So that's helping him out. That's helping his performance because he's less relied upon and he can just do his job. So those are my takeaways from the game, the performance, a little just general overview. We're champions of the world. How about that? Champions of the world. Hope you're getting ready to buy them kits. If you like the video on your way out, would help us out massively, help people find the channel, and subscribe if you are new. We're trying to reach 7k as quickly as possible. This will probably be the last time that I see you before Christmas. So I hope you have a very nice Christmas, and to anyone who doesn't celebrate, I hope you have a very good day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you after Christmas. If nothing happens, I'll see you after Christmas for some Everton content.